the Overman Warrior Podcast.
Hi, Pitch Hoffman here. For those following along with Joby Aviation, the new air taxis that I've been talking about for quite a long time, you can't help but think about them. They just flew their first flight over Manhattan. Managed to fly from downtown to JFK in 10 minutes. And that was done over April 25th through the 27th to kind of create accomplish a FAA milestone that was long talked about, and certainly is a major credibility milestone that they needed to check off. And I've told everybody leading up to 2025, going into 2026, that Joby was going to be a big deal. The vertical air taxi market was going to quite literally take off, and that by the end of 2026 it was going to be commonplace. You simply go to the airport, some of these major airports. There'll be some in California. There's going to be certainly in New York. They're going to be all over the place, and I have been pushing, and I know Michael Ryan, who is running for commissioner in Butler County, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, has been pushing for it too, to have the same kind of air taxi hub in Butler County. So a lot of people thought that was kind of science fiction, and it wasn't anywhere near happening. And yet here at the end of April 2026, Joby Aviation made their first demonstration flight over Manhattan. And they've done so other places in the world, and it's a quick mover, coming very fast. And I just to give an update that's where it's at, and everything I said is right on course, and part of the FAA approval is proving stable flight under these kinds of conditions over very tightly packed urban centers, such as Manhattan. In Manhattan, typically they have helicopters and get you in and out of the city pretty fast, but people don't like the helicopters because it's so noisy. These Joby vehicles are much quieter. They're electric. And they run a very stable flight. Much better. So you simply go to your airport or go to your pad somewhere in the city central. You dial up on your phone and Uber Black, and they come and pick you up and take you to the airport. And it'll start with pilots flying. It will eventually go to all electronic. It's really going to be simple, and you get to the airport in 10 minutes. And that's the way it's going to be everywhere in the country. I know there's a lot of people who fly in and out of Westchester, Ohio, in Butler County. We've talked about having a hub there, a vertiport, that you could, if you have to be at the airport in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can do it without having to wait an hour of traffic trying to get through Cincinnati. Or go to Dayton International. Same way, very quick flight once you get to the air. And that's the future. That's where it's all headed. And I can think of, now that we're running down to the primaries, the primary season, early May, and Michael Ryan is the Republican nominee, and should be fine for being elected during the primaries up against Cindy Carpenter. And got Roger Reynolds is kind of looming in the background, with a kind of on again, off again relationship. I saw a bunch of early on to try and prop her up a little bit. Roger Reynolds and his dad were out putting up a lot of signs because they're upset that the Republican Party didn't get behind any of the older legacy people, but the party's has been listening, and the party itself has adjusted to people who get it and align themselves with the future. And nobody has been better at that than Michael Ryan. Very successful vice mayor in Hamilton, Ohio, and now he's wants to step in the commissioner role and bring a lot of what he did good for Hamilton to Butler County in general. And one of his projects is Joby Aviation. bringing a port to Hamilton and Butler County in general, to be one of the leaders in the country instead of somebody who picks up on it 10 years later. To do it now while it's hot, and it is hot. It is the hottest market sector economy in the United States, the vertical airspace market. And Joby Aviation, Archer's out there doing stuff. My sentiments are on Joby. They're going to be up the road. They have a wonderful facility in Dayton that is going to mass produce a lot of these. Are going to really be able to get to market growth and scale. And then you need politicians like Michael Ryan to align to it. People who have vision and see the future for what it is, and how they could bring communities like those in Butler County into the leadership role that on this new world-dominated market via a whole new transportation system. But I couldn't help but drive around the community, various towns in Butler County, and see the Cindy Carpenter signs that Roger Reynolds and his dad put out, looking all tattered, because the goal was to put them out and look like there's this great big support for her. And the Republican Party did not nominate her. They nominated Michael Ryan. So Cindy Carpenter, who is the incumbent, and a lot of people think hasn't done a very good job, has been elected to be moved on from. And to try and prop that up and give the illusion to people who don't otherwise know, they put a lot of signs out. And as you know, with signs can be very deceitful because you put them out and they look very strong. But their next ability is it takes a lot of work to keep them out. It takes a lot of work. There's people who steal the signs. Weather blows them away. They get damaged just in being out. And they start looking pretty hairy a few weeks into a campaign. And when you put all your signs out at the beginning of, when you're 6 weeks out from the election, like in this case, beginning of April, end of March, you try and look like there's a support, so you can build momentum. It really looks bad when your signs are all tore up 2 weeks before the election. And that's the way Cindy Carpenter's signs are. Everywhere you go, they look like tattered old flags. They're all beat up. No one's went out and maintained them. Because it takes a lot of work. You can't just have the illusion of a couple of political people who are upset that they're not at the center of attention, trying to make it look like there's a big, giant support for Cindy Carpenter, who has got herself in a lot of trouble, been under investigation by the prosecutor for acting poorly in public, giving people the middle finger and all kinds of silly things that she clearly can't afford to do in her public discourses. She's not been very effective during her time as commissioner, and everybody would love to see her move. Everybody would like to move on from her, especially after she got caught campaigning for Democrats, which is why she doesn't have the endorsement. And the Republican Party is willing to move on from her. And Michael Ryan has shown a lot of fresh ideas, and he has a lot of energy, and he's been working with trying to get a hold of Joby to get them scheduled. They're a lot busier. I know that in late 2025, he had several meetings with them to set up an arrangement. They had to get through some hurdles first to do that, and now they're the hottest ticket in the world. Everybody's calling them. But that just shows you how far out Michael Ryan was thinking when he first made his initial contacts. And as the campaign goes, the primary is a lot, I think, is the gateway to the commissioner race, because you have some Republicans who would like to compete with each other to get in that spot. And there's only one that the Republican Party picked, and that's Michael Ryan. You got to get through the primary, and then when you get into the general election season, I think over the summer into the fall, Michael Ryan will probably be able to, I'm sure, get a demonstration set up where we can show Joby off to everybody and show the kind of vision that Butler County can have with some fresh ideas in the commissioner seat. So it shouldn't be a big deal. Michael Ryan should be well placed to win that seat. But the way signs can make you look, a lot of people were wondering how Cindy Carpenter had that kind of backing. And they're all hurt on her side that they've fallen out of favor. That's because they were rhinos and they were trying to get Democrats elected in positions like she did in the mayor's race in Middletown, Ohio, a place that could genuinely use a lot of Republican leadership. You don't need more Democrats in places that are trying to recover. So she did a really bad thing doing that, and that's why she's on the outside. And they're trying to put signs out to make her look like she's more than she is. But the problem with that is there hasn't been anybody out there maintaining those signs. They look like tattered messes. And that's how you know when it's a fake effort. Someone spends a lot of money, put out a lot of signs, but they can't keep them out. They can't keep replacing them as they get destroyed or taken, which happens to everybody. Michael Ryan has looked sharp, crisp. He's got signs all over the place. He's well backed, has a lot of volunteers, and a lot of people supporting him. And he's looking pretty fresh going into the primary, where Cindy Carper looks like her hair, which is pretty disheveled, like birds wouldn't even want to make a nest out of it. She looks wrecked, destroyed, not very competent. She looks like her campaign looks like, as she does, looks like the kind of person who's a little bit unhinged and goes off on people for no apparent reasons to get her way, and shows around her the power she's obviously learned to not appreciate to its full worth, and has not lived up to the high office. And that certainly has been the story of 2025 going to 2026, and with the primary season will most display vivaciously for everybody voting. But don't take anything for granted. Go out, vote for Michael Ryan, and make sure you get your voice represented in the primary election, and that's coming up here early in May 2026. Make sure to go out and vote for Michael Ryan. And let's get a good campaign season going into the generals for 2026. And to that effect, keep Michael Ryan going so he can do all these great things with Joby, and continue the great upward trajectory that Joby Aviation is showing. Just as I told everybody it would. I said this a year ago, and here it's right on track. And everybody who's put their bets down is going to make a lot of money off this thing. And Joby it's going to be a great transportation system, and you certainly want Butler County in on the game early. Manhattan's already there. San Francisco's going to be on it. Los Angeles is going to be on it. Dubai's already there. China's looking at it. Everybody's going to be on this thing. It's going to be the hottest transportation system in the world. Places like Orlando, where Disney has all those parks, and they want to get out to the coast. Normally, you take a car out there. They have a little bus system that takes you out to the Space Coast, where they have their cruise ships. Now you'll be able to take off from your hotel with one of these Joby sky taxis very soon, and fly right out to your cruise ship, right to the front door where the ticket booth is, and not have to mess around with toll roads or rental cars or buses or anything. You'll be from your hotel to the cruise ships in under 15 minutes. It's a super good, new, efficient way to get around, and again, it's the hottest ticket around. And the only politician I know of in Southern Ohio who's got their arms all around it early was Michael Ryan, and he and I have been talking about it now for several years. And now the rubber's hitting the road, or taking off, literally. And he's the political figure who has most embraced it. And as he moves into the commissioner seat, Butler County is going to see a lot of great opportunities like that come their way that would not be possible with anybody else. So I'm very excited to go vote for Michael Ryan. Make sure you do too. For the primary, primaries generally don't have a high turnout, but make sure you're one of them, and turn out and put Michael Ryan on the next steps so that great things can happen to Butler County, such as Joby Aviation coming to a hub near you. It takes great political vision to do that, and Michael Ryan certainly has it. Cindy Carpenter does not. All she has is middle fingers, ratty-looking hair, a foul mouth, and a track record of almost no performance. And the performance she does have supports Democrats. That's not what you want. Anyway, Rich Hoffman here. Share, subscribe, make tomorrow a better day. If you haven't read my book, The Gunfighter's Guide to Business, I think you'll love it. Anyway, have a good day. See you later.
Thank you for listening.
Coming soon, The Politics of Heaven in 2027. A treasure hunt through heaven and all human history.